We all see our refrigerator as this, hero of the kitchen, right? It keeps our food fresh, our drinks cold. But what if I told you it has a secret? What if it's actually sabotaging some of your favorite foods? It's almost automatic for us to just shove everything in the fridge, thinking cold equals fresh. But that's not always the best move. So today, we're going to go on a little myth-busting journey to figure out what really belongs on the shelf versus what belongs in that big cold box. You see, that cold, dry environment inside a refrigerator can be a real problem for certain items. It can absolutely wreck their texture, it can speed up spoilage, yes, speed it up, and it can even steal their flavor. So let's dive into the first category of victims. First up, we've got the texture killers. Now, these are the foods that go into the fridge perfectly fine, but they just come out wrong. We're talking grainy, hard, or just plain impossible to work with. I mean, we've all been there, right? You put a loaf of bread in the fridge thinking, hey, this will make it last longer, only to find it's gone hard and stale in what feels like record time. It's not just in your head, there's a real chemical reaction happening. And speaking of starches, let's talk about potatoes. When you put a potato in the cold, its enzymes basically go into overdrive, and they start converting all those wonderful starches into sugar. And that doesn't just make them taste unpleasantly sweet, it totally ruins their cell structure. So when you go to cook them, they turn out gritty and kind of dense. For those perfect, fluffy potatoes, you've got to keep them in a cool, dry spot, but never, ever the fridge. And that bread thing? Yeah, that's a big no-no. The cold, dry air actually makes the staling process happen faster. It's a process called retrogradation. Basically, the starch molecules recrystallize and push water out, which is what makes the bread tough and dry. Now, here's a funny little exception. If it's already in a sandwich, the fillings help protect it for a little while. Think about honey. The stuff can last for centuries at room temperature. Its low water content and natural acidity make it a fortress against bacteria. But the fridge? The fridge turns that liquid gold into a hard, crystallized block. So please, keep it in the pantry and avoid that morning fight just to get some in your tea. And the list of texture victims just keeps going. The cold really messes with fats and oils. Your olive oil will solidify into this cloudy, hard fat. Peanut butter and regular butter, they become unspreadable rocks. And even the cocoa butter and chocolate can separate, which creates that weird, chalky white coating we call bloom. All of these are so much better when you just keep them at room temperature. All right, now for a category that is truly surprising. These are the foods that don't just get a weird texture in the fridge, they actually spoil and rot faster. Yeah, you heard that right. We've all seen this. You put a perfectly good banana in the fridge and bam, the next day its peel is this scary shade of black. Or you go to grab an onion for dinner and find it's gone all soft and moldy. Well, guess what? The culprit, once again, is your refrigerator. Onions, you see, need to breathe. The damp, enclosed space of a fridge just turns their starches to sugar and makes them soft and mushy. And whatever you do, do not store them next to potatoes. The gases and moisture they release create this little toxic micro-environment that makes both of them spoil way, way faster. And for all you herb lovers out there, here is a crucial tip. Basil is a delicate little tropical plant. It hates the cold. Any temperature below 40 degrees Fahrenheit causes cell damage, and that's where you get those ugly black spots and a total loss of all those amazing aromatic oils. The best way to keep it? Treat it like a bouquet of flowers. Just pop it in a glass of water on your counter. Whole melons, tomatoes, cucumbers, all of them have their lifespans cut short by the cold. It just damages their cell walls and pretty much invites decay. And tropical fruits like mangoes and pineapples, they just weren't designed for chilly weather, so the cold completely halts the ripening process. Oh, and for avocados, let them get perfectly ripe on the counter first, then you can stick them in the fridge to buy yourself an extra day or two. Okay, for our last category, let's talk about the sneakiest crime of all, flavor theft. Your fridge might be making your food taste blander, and you might not even realize it. It's so frustrating, isn't it? You buy these high-quality ingredients, you cook a meal, but the final dish just doesn't pop. The problem might not be your cooking skills. It could literally be your storage habits. The cold can actually dull and mute flavors. Take hot sauce. It's packed with vinegar, which is a natural preservative. It absolutely does not need to be in the fridge. In fact, the cold can dull the capsaicin. That's the compound that gives peppers their heat, and it just mutes all those complex, spicy flavors. If you want a bolder kick, keep it on the counter. Coffee lovers, listen up. This one's important. Coffee beans are porous. They act like a sponge, and they will absorb moisture and any random food smells from your fridge. Leftover garlic pasta? Yep, your coffee's gonna taste like it. Chilling them also creates condensation, which degrades the precious oils that give coffee its rich, bold flavor. Always, always keep your beans in an airtight container in the pantry. And this goes for so many other pantry staples. The cold, damp air in a fridge makes ground spices lose their potency way faster. And for things like pickles and soy sauce, their high salt and vinegar content already protects them. The cold just weakens their bold, tangy flavors. Keep them in the cupboard for a much richer taste. So, we've busted a lot of myths today. The question now is, how do we actually put this into practice? Well, it's time to rethink our kitchen habits with a few simple new rules. Here's a super simple 3-step check to help you decide what goes where. First, think about starch and fat. Things like potatoes, oils, and butters just hate the cold. Second, consider where it grew. Tropical and citrus fruits, they're built for warmth. And third, trust in natural preservatives. Anything high in vinegar like hot sauce or sugar like honey is perfectly safe right on your counter. Ah yes, the great egg debate. Okay, here's the deal. Chilling eggs definitely extends their shelf life by a lot, which is why it's standard practice here in the US. However, many chefs will swear that they have a better taste and texture for baking when they're stored at room temperature. So on this one, there really isn't a single right answer. The choice is yours. It just depends on what your priority is. You know, learning the why behind what we do in the kitchen is so empowering. It lets us make better choices. So my final question for you is this. After rethinking the entire role of the fridge, what other kitchen rules are you now ready to question and maybe even break?